moment of insight or a look inside the business that inspired you to do something, take action? What comes to mind when we ask you for a finance strategic moment?
So for me, taking the company public for the first time in my life, so I can tell you it's actually a great story. So Monday was looking for a CFO for a year and a half, and I'm telling this, relates to back to early 2021. So around October 2020, they decided that they want to go public. They didn't have a CFO. They have no one in the management team that ever did an IPO. And they were looking for a CFO for either in Israel and outside of Israel for a year and a half. And then they reached out to me. I was in another company at the end of January 2021. And they said, look, we are looking to do an IPO and we are looking at CFOs, and your name came up. They interviewed me 10 days, a blitz of 10 days, 10 interviews in 10 days, and they made me an offer. Now, I never did an IPO. I didn't know the business. I didn't know the people. And I had to make a decision because I was in another company that I liked. And I made the tough decision. By the way, the first decision and the last decision in my life that I left the company, less than 5 years in the company. So I worked for Lightrix, another great company, for 15 months, and I decided to move to Monday. So I started working for Monday in February 16 in 2021. I don't know the people. I don't know the investors. I don't know the board. I don't know the business. And they literally brought me to a room and they said, there is an IPO going on. It's yours. And I'm like, okay. Now you can either go under and, be intimidated, but everything that I did in my life, let's go back to the CFO that kind of mentored me in my early career, the business understanding, the ability to speak with people. This was the moment where I felt like everything comes together. And I said, you know what? I'm taking it. So I started listening at nights to earning calls and podcasts. I started getting to know the people that are stakeholders in the organization. I had to speak with the analysts and the banks and, that are covering us and are part of the IPO. I had to speak with the investors. I had to do TTW to tell a story about Monday when I just joined Monday, and then to do another TTW. And there is a roadshow. Now, Jack, to remind you, we are in a time where there are multiple IPOs. The attention of the, investors and analysts is across many companies, and you have to be outstanding how you make your company unique. So, there is no easy solution. I work 20 hours a day, but everything I did until then, my global experience, the fact that I spoke English, and I invested in it, the fact that I was looking to hire good people because you're only as good as your people are. This is not a cliche. And I brought good people to help me. And, literally everybody's looking at me. You're the CFO. We never did an IPO. Lead this. So I decided to take action. And, for 4 months, kind of my world was upside down. I told my wife and my kids, I will see you back in the summer. And I'm going to Monday. And June 11, 2021, we rang the bell, or June 10. I can't even remember. It was June 10 or June 11. And it was a very successful IPO. It was probably the highest and most successful SaaS company IPO in Israel ever, and one of the top IPOs of SaaS companies at the time globally. And since then, to almost a year and a half after that, this is a moment in your life where you stand there on the podium and you look back and you say, how did I do it? Because, you just learn as you move. So, you have to be able to deal with pressure. You have to be multitasking. You have to be able to speak with people and not be intimidated. You have to have a self-confidence, but it's not coming out of the blue. All my career, I read a lot of books. I listened to many podcasts. I spoke with analysts. I read articles. So it got me to a point where I felt comfortable, to take the opportunity like I did back then in 2003 when they made me a young CFO. So I think this was kind of, for me, not only a strategic moment, but a life-changing moment from a personal and professional kind of aspect.